In high school, man, you were the life of the party. You were fun. Like, what was life like for you? Was it happy and jolly like you came off?
No, that's what I let people see, because I didn't want to show like the hurt I had experienced or was currently experiencing. Inside, it was I was a wreck. I was a train wreck. When I looked into a mirror, it was like, dude, you're a piece of crap. Like, you are contributing nothing. Sophomore year of high school was kind of like, I'm going to try to get a gold medal in drinking.
What was the end like getting sober? Like, what did your life look like where you were like, dude, I'm done. I got to make a change.
I truly feel that struggling as much as I did and the lessons that I learned was a blessing. I love being asked, why'd you become a therapist? And for me, it's like to be the voice for the people that don't know how to use theirs yet, or that don't know they have one. Being a voice for the voiceless.
How do you feel about spirituality, religion, like God, source? Like, where's your head at with that stuff?
Oh, man. That's a tough question.
You reached out and you were like, hey, I have a story. And I didn't know Instagram did read receipts and shit. I felt bad. Yeah. I was like, dude, so he thinks I read his message.
Bro, I felt like I was like trying to date you. Yes. Right? I was like, bro, I sent you this message, and I kept looking too, because you're right. Like, I saw it, and I was like, yeah, oh, this is awesome. And I'm like, I want to be a part of this, because I was, one, absolutely so proud of you.
Thanks, man.
You're welcome. And then two, just, I think it's great. I think people fall into a trap that it's so hard for them to share their story. Yes. Right? Like, it's hard. Yeah. And they get embarrassed about it, or they don't like talking about themselves or struggles that they've been through, or even successes. And it's tough, right? Like,
it is. It's different. And you got to get, especially people that aren't used to being on camera. Like, that's my job, is just to create a safe space and help people unpack things with gentle questions. And
sure.
That's what seems to be helpful for people.
You're a guide, you know?
Yeah.
Like, and I think that's great. Like, you give someone, like what you said, like a safe space to be them and to like share their authentic story and share about them. And that's awesome, because I don't think people get that opportunity a ton.
Yeah. And then it's there forever, dude. Their kids get to be like, hey, look what Grandpa was like. And, you know, so Grandpa. It's fun, man.
Man.
Where are you from originally?
Around here, bro.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too. Around here, never left. And it's not bad, dude. We got four seasons. Like, we're close to everything.
Well, we have 5 seasons, dude, because, like, fire season is, like, a whole season.
That's true.
In and of itself,
yeah,
right?
August is a whole season in and of itself.
Yeah, like, dude, that's just a season, right? It's fire season. Mm-hmm. God, what was it, a couple years ago where I remember walking out and ash, like, I could see ash falling. And I'm like,
literally,
this is not
good. Yeah. No, not good.
Not good at all, dude. So, yeah, from around here,
what's your name? I don't even fucking introduce you.
You're the worst host.
It's the worst.
Ever. My name's Andrew Jones.
Hi.
Good to see you.
I don't think I've ever introduced someone, now that I think about it. Like, I should probably ask people to tell their name.
You probably should.
It would help make a connection with the audience.
Probably.
You know?
Yeah, they might, some people might know who they are. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Talking about, like, checking out your like, Instagram and stuff like that. Dude, I was so stoked to see the Philharmonic on here. Like, I've seen him a few times.
Amazing.
Like, dude, he's incredible. Mm-hmm. And what he talks about is fascinating. Like, just the brevity of what he has to say that doesn't come across all the time. And I think that's great. And
dude,
just his appreciation for life.
I remastered, or I had my editor remaster and re-release it, because that one, like, just listening to that dude talk, he just talks like a poet, and the stuff he's saying is so deep. I was like, I have to re-release this. Like, unbelievable. Yeah, that dude, and he's trying to help people.
Which is great.
It's great. That seems to be, because I've had a lot of people on here that are enlightened, and I've seen it through religious paths, spiritual paths. I've seen it through artistic paths.
Yep.
And there's 2 things I see in common. They have they have a skill they were born with. They use it to create something, all in service of other people. Like, their entire existence is in service of other people, and they seem to have a direct connection with source, God, creator, whatever it is for you.
Yeah.
And it's guiding them through life to be of maximum service to others. And Philharmonic is doing that, dude. He views his music as a continuation of universal energy that it's his job to let flow to others. It's fucking deep, dude. That's a great episode.
Like, I mean, we could end now. Like, I can't top that, right? Like, I can't beat that. But, like, it's incredible. And I think it's great. Like, when you are able to be a witness to somebody, like, being them and like harnessing who they are.
Yeah.
And their gift, whatever it is, right? Some people are jerks and they have multiple gifts.
Yep.
But like being able to witness that is incredible.
Yeah.
And I think people need to pay more attention to it as opposed to trying to hate. Like
it's when people hate, it's because they see the risk that somebody is taking, putting their nuts on the line with their reputation, and then putting their art out there, their creation, whatever it is, and they know that's what it takes. I don't have what it takes to do that. There's a saying, dude, what you want is right on the other side of that fear. And that's where the hate comes from. But so dude, I remember 25 years or something, but in high school, man, you were the life of the party. You were fun. Like, what was life like for you? Was it happy and jolly like you came off?
No, that was the exterior, right? That's what I let people see.
It worked, man.
It did.
It was fun.
I had a great time from what people tell me, right? And like what I remember. But like that was like projecting who I wanted people to see me as, right? And because I didn't want to show like the hurt that I had experienced or was currently experiencing, the just anger and resentment that I had built up in me.
Idea.
And like on top of that, like the depression, right? Like figuring out any way possible to hide all of that so that I could make it through one day to the next and to the next and then not have to talk about it, right? Like we just discussed, like people are afraid to talk about their experience and I didn't want to talk about mine. You know, it was just another thing that I'm going to let someone view me as being happy all the time and jolly and being the life of the party, as you put it. But inside, it was, I was a wreck. I was a train wreck.
Was it genetic or like something happened?
I didn't have the best like relationship with my dad, nor did my brother. My dad was not a military guy, but he was militaristic and kind of what he expected and how he spoke to us and how he treated us if we made a mistake doing something or anything along those lines. It was very much, I felt it was very much a home where it was do not speak unless spoken to.
Oh, wow. So emotions are out the door. We're not doing any emotions?
No.
Yeah.
You would get made fun of, right? Like by him. And my dad was, both my parents were huge alcoholics, and my dad, along with being an alcoholic, struggled with drug addiction, and so it was very much everybody was walking on eggshells. They both got clean and sober, thank God, but my dad very much did not know how to process anything. And
after being sober?
Yeah, like just didn't know how to process anything. And I've talked about it before, where it's like you have to relearn how to be a human. Like you have to learn what it's like to be happy and like
after
how to be
sober,
happy after getting sober.
Yeah.
Right? You have to teach yourself like I can be happy and I don't need a cocktail in my hand and I can do like I can do life, right? And he did not know how to do that once he got sober. And very short fuse and I every day I hoped I didn't do something wrong.
Damn. So just living on eggshell, that's anxiety. That's for sure. And then
non-stop.
You bottle anxiety enough, it turns into depression. Yeah.
Sure.
I would have never known, dude.
Yeah. And that's the thing. There was two people that knew, right? Like outside of my family. And thank God for them because, you know, having a safe harbor to go to, right? Like somewhere safe that I could go there and I could just be at peace. And I didn't have to think about anything. And I could be a kid, right? I didn't even know how families were supposed to interact. And then being at somebody's house and seeing their family interact with each other, being like, this is odd.
Like with love and emotion. And what was the biggest contrast that you saw with other families?
The ability for the kids to be kids.
Oh.
To be a kid, right? Because
just goof off, make sounds, break things.
Right.
You know? Yeah.
And it's funny, like having a conversation with my mom recently, she would introduce me without me knowing, she would introduce me to people as like, this is my son Andrew, he's an odd duck, right? Because when I wasn't around my dad, I could try to do that, right? But it never felt comfortable. But then seeing other kids just being kids and being themselves and having having their dad come up to him and say, like, I love you, and give him a hug or anything along those lines, I was like, this is foreign. Like, this is new to me.
And that's very necessary for the proper development emotionally, and cognition, whole thing. So,
absolutely.
Were you drinking in high school?
Yeah. I had my first drink. Oh my God. Since 6th grade, and my cousin actually was like, we were at a wedding, and she was like, here you go, try this, and it tasted good, but it wasn't something where it was like, oh my gosh, I need this, right? I would definitely say freshman, sophomore year of high school was kind of like, okay, I'm gonna try to get a gold medal in drinking when I could, and it just kind of progressed, right? It was just kind of one of those things where it was, my parents would go on trips every year for like a week at a time, and whatever money they left that was supposed to be for food went straight to booze. And the place where I worked in high school, I would be able to acquire food.
Right. Yeah.
I could acquire food from where I worked. I'll put it that way. And so it was like, okay, this is done. I'm going to eat sandwiches for a week and a half straight, and then whatever this is just going for booze. And then that's what it was. It was just trying to, just drinking a lot. And then delved into some other things in high school. A lot of things scared me in high school as far as substances and recreational use. It just scared me.
There was a lot floating around our high school. Like, we got flooded. The rich suburban high school.
It was nuts.
Hard drugs everywhere.
Yeah,
crazy.
And so that's another thing that stands out to me. I'll circle back to the substance use in high school, but growing up, like, my parents didn't have money. And they, like, my mom still doesn't have, she doesn't, like, yes, her zip code says Granite Bay, but it's like she doesn't, it was never like an affluent household. And so I remember working my tail off to get my first car when we're sophomores, and then I'm seeing people that we would go to high school with pulling in like BMWs and Hummers and Escalades.
Crazy.
I was like, this isn't real life right now. And thankfully, I still have the mindset of, no, you need to work for what you have. Like, you have to earn it instead of, here you go, right? Because I remember I crashed that car within a month, and I was like, oh man, I got to figure this out.
Yeah.
Like, no one's gonna buy me a new one.
The kids that really got that stuff handed, I mean, we're not gonna name names, but we know who they are. It didn't really turn out well.
Didn't pan out.
Turns
good.
out that's not the way to raise a kid, is buy him a $60,000 car and $200 shoes and
man. That's why I still wear the Vans, dude. $50.
Yeah.
But so going back to like usage in high school, and again, not to name names, it was like, take your pick in the morning, right? What did you want to do?
Yeah.
Like, in the parking lot, like, pick what substance you want to use for the day, and
I mean any. Like, it was all there. As hardcore as
I very much remember a classmate dropping acid in the parking lot and then trying to attempt to go to school for the day. And I had second period with him, and I look over and he just doesn't know what he's doing.
On acid.
He doesn't even know where he's at. This is like when camel backpacks were, the new rage. Like, I would make a screwdriver in the morning in my camel pack, and I would just walk around campus all day.
Yeah,
just sipping on it on a screwdriver.
That's crazy.
For you youngsters, that's vodka and alcohol and OJ. But yeah, it just that was the norm. And then ecstasy became popular.
Oh yeah,
and that was the whole thing.
The opiates were everywhere.
Oh my gosh,
oxys and stuff. Yeah.
Did that scare you at all?
I dove right in, dude. So I went to I went to a reform school from 14 to 16. So when I came out, I was socially shocked. Like, I didn't know how to talk to people. I had just been in an environment for 2 years with 200 people, and all we did was get raw and work on our emotions and get abused. Didn't know it at the time that that's what that was, but it was definitely, these adults were not licensed doing all this stuff.
Sure.
And I'm very grateful I got to go, and I'm careful because it wasn't cheap, and I don't want to upset my parents and stuff. But yeah, dude. And then I got out, same thing, just so amped all the time. Like I was telling you about, I have a very hard time turning my volume down. And
the volume in your head,
just my whole body, heart rate and everything.
Just everything.
Yeah, like like I shake.
Like Spinal Tap, dude. Just turning it up to 11.
My thing, my natural state is tense.
Yeah,
and it just always has been. And I've tried everything, but so 6-7 months of that after reform school, I went to a party, lost my virginity. Had a little
big night.
Yeah, it was a big night. Had a little weed for the first time. Had some alcohol.
Pre or post coital?
It was pre.
There you go.
Yeah. And I just remember feeling like this relief. And I'm like, okay, cool. Well, here's my crowd then. Because I couldn't relate to people, dude. I remember I got out and like, he's dead now, so we can say it, but like Chris Lucia, dude, like he was mean to people. I just remember everybody was so mean to each other. And I thought, this is fucked up. Like, why is everybody calling each other fat and stuff? This is not what I'm used to. I didn't like it. And so then I gravitated to the weed crowd, and
everybody was mellow.
Oxy flooded in, dude, and that got me after high school. Luckily, I graduated early because I had so many credits from the reform school. They did good in the school, but yeah, in high school I was doing the E and I was doing the psychedelics, not spiritually.
Sure,
there's no purpose to it.
No.
And
you're doing it because you don't want to experience the day.
Yes.
Right?
That's all I was trying to do is how do I stay...
Like, how do I mute everything else?
I just want to be calm. And I was raised in DARE, drug abuse resistance education. So in my head, if you're doing weed, you might as well be shooting heroin. And if you're doing weed, you're already so far into drugs. Like, okay, let's try coke then. Let's try this then. And
so I was raised with DARE as like drugs are really expensive. Right? Like, that's what we used to mock it. Because it was this is your brain on drugs with the egg in the frying pan.
Yeah, I remember those commercials. Literally.
And I just remember like laughing, like that's not accurate. And then sure enough, like after, making stupid decisions, you're like, oh, that is accurate.
For certain drugs used frequently enough for long enough, absolutely egg fry your brain.
Yeah.
Did addiction get to you in high school, or was it after?
I wouldn't say, I'm sure... looking back, yeah, you could probably say that it got to me in high school, but if I were to look at it, I would say that was just my defense. Like that was just me coping, because I didn't know how to socially. Yes, I could carry a conversation, or I could be funny, I could do something stupid to make people laugh and all that, but I didn't know how to be a person.
Yeah,
I didn't.
And definitely not be yourself.
Correct.
You probably didn't even know yourself if you're having to stifle emotions and stuff.
I don't even know if I still know myself completely. Right. Yeah. I feel we're learning about ourselves every day. Right. And I think you should learn about yourself every day. And I think for me, like a big thing that's helped me is telling myself every morning, like, how can I be a better version of myself today than I was yesterday, in whatever capacity that it is.
How do you gauge whether that happened or not?
I think internally. If I can look back on yesterday and say, this is a mistake that I need to correct, or this is something that maybe I raised my voice at my kid, or I didn't handle a conversation the way that it should have been, or I was short with somebody.
So you gauge it on how other people are feeling when they're interacting with you,
which is again goes back to just a screwed up childhood, right? Like wanting to make sure that I can please instead of having someone be pissed off.
Oh, so it developed codependency.
I would imagine, yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, like it's just...
I would imagine, yeah.
Yeah, like, yes, right? Like, yes, it did. But
for sure.
It's a way that I've been able to learn, like, okay, it's not like I'm going to ask somebody a million times, are you okay? Like, what's wrong? But it's just, I can gauge, right? I know that if I didn't handle a situation correctly, I know, right? Like, oh, I was a jerk. I shouldn't have done that, or I shouldn't have said that. So, back to high school, yes, right. Like you could look back and say, yeah, I had an addiction issue, but for me, it was just, how do I get through the day, right? Like, how do I continue to be in a state to where I can make people laugh, or do something stupid, whatever it was, right?
Yeah.
Like, how do I keep this image of who I want people to see me as continuing?
How did that end?
Man,
probably not well.
No.
Yeah, you did. You said you spent 12 years
it was
clean
a while,
and sober.
Yeah, being fully clean and sober. And
what was the end like getting sober? Like, what did your life look like where you were like, dude, I'm done. I got to make a change.
Mistake after mistake. Having friends tell me they didn't want to be my friend anymore, which that's not easy to hear, right?
Yeah.
And realizing that like I didn't even want to be my friend. Like if I had a friend that was like me, I'd be like, no, I don't want to hang out with you. Right? Like that's a slap in the face. Like I'm a huge fan of Robin Williams, and he had this joke. It wasn't really a joke. It was him talking, and he said it got to a point where I couldn't look myself in the mirror, and because he said I didn't like who was looking back or what was looking back. And when I did that, when I looked into a mirror, it was similar to that. It was like, dude, you're a piece of crap. Like you are contributing nothing. Like you have no purpose. What are you doing?
How old were you at that point?
Oh, man, 21.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you went hard getting sober that young.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was tough. It was tough.
So what did you do? How did you get sober?
I stopped.
Oh, really?
I just stopped.
Just done.
I told myself, I don't know if it was God who I was talking to. I don't know who it was, or whatever you want to call it. But every night, because I was disgusted, right?
Yeah.
And so for so many nights, it was like, please take this away from me. I don't want to experience this. I don't want to deal with this anymore. Sorry, I wasn't 21. I was 24 because it was shortly after I got married. Is when I got clean and sober, and I didn't know who to talk to. I didn't know who to ask for help. I didn't know how to ask for help because I grew up not knowing that I could ask for help, right? And for me, it was just asking whoever could hear me, right? When I'm yelling at myself internally,
yeah,
like
when
I'm
you're
yelling
desperate,
and crying out internally, take this away from me. Like I do not want to experience this anymore. I want to like who I am, and there was mornings that I would wake up and it was like, back to the same old me. And then finally one morning I woke up because I was strategic. Like I would set stuff out at night so that I knew that all I had to do was wake up in the morning and roll over and boom,
there it is.
And so I woke up one morning and I rolled over and looked at it and was like, no, I'm okay. I don't need that right now. And then it was like, just get in the shower. And then I was like, just get through a shower. Took a shower, and I was able to do that, and it was like, okay, get dressed, right? And being able to do that and just baby step for a day, and then it was like, okay, cool, you did this for 24 hours, do it again.
Yeah.
And then it was do it again, and then just trying to continue to stack up those days. And it wasn't easy. Like there was definitely days where it was like, I'm doing this, like I'm gonna drink today, or I'm gonna use the substance. I'm going to grab whatever's closest to me. You know what I mean?
You think that morning when you woke up and you didn't, all of a sudden you're like, oh shit, I'm good. You think that was whatever you were talking to, removing that?
Probably. I don't know who it was. Couldn't point to what it was or who it was, or if it was just my
resolve, will.
Not even that, like absolute 100% need to get rid of it. Right, to just close the door on that person, on that, like when I say person, I'm talking about like that version of me, right? Like close the door on that. And I'm thankful that however it worked out, I'm thankful that it did. And I've kind of mentioned it, like relearning how to be a human, not even learning how to be a person, right? Of being able to smile and say it's okay to smile, or it's okay to cry, it's okay to laugh and have friends, and this is how you have a friendship. Like this is what a healthy friendship looks like. And going through that process was fantastic. Like I wouldn't have asked for it to be any different. I think I truly feel that struggling as much as I did, and the lessons that I learned, and seeing how much of a jerk that I was, and just like how much I buried, and to be able to then finally like start to look at it and start to like see these things and have these conversations with people was a blessing. Like like you said, like we've had friends that we know that have passed away from various reasons. Some of it was drugs and alcohol.
Yeah.
And to be just have this overwhelming gratitude that wasn't me, right? That it was, yep, I struggled and I made stupid decisions like most kids do, but then to learn from it and then come out of it,
and
mostly unscathed.
And the empathy and compassion that it gives you for other people struggling in
gosh.
whatever way they struggle, not just drugs and alcohol, but when you experience doing something that's harming you and you don't want to do it and you're trying to stop and you keep doing it against your own will, that's humbling. And so at least it gave me a sort of empathy for anybody who's struggling with anything that they don't want to be doing.
Yeah, and it's like I like what you said, that it doesn't even have to be drugs and alcohol, right? Mm-hmm. It could be struggling with how they parent their kids. It could be struggling with just having a downright distaste for their job, right? And wanting to do something different, but being what you said earlier was the change is on the other side of fear, right? Like what you want is on the other side of fear, and being able to kind of harness that, and for individuals to see it and to help someone see it, right? To be able to help someone acknowledge that and say, you're right. Like, I can do this. It's going to be hard, but I can do it.
Yeah.
I think that's great. I think it's great.
Were you like religious or spiritual at that time or anything?
Kinda. I wouldn't say a lot. Like I went to church, and my youth pastor at church, actually, he's incredible, and he's like a second older brother to me. Not that we like talk like all the time anymore, but just the impact that he had on me, because I thought he was hilarious, but I never saw him do anything out of the ordinary, right? And I say out of the ordinary, like drinking or using substances.
Yeah.
And he was just a happy-go-lucky guy. And so I was drawn to the ability to be funny, like to just feel free, right? And going to church and doing that. But I never felt like I fit. I never felt like I belonged.
Yeah,
and
same here.
That's tough, right? Especially, I mean, we have the what I would consider to be a pretty significant, almost mega church in our area.
Massive mega church.
Yeah.
Like as mega as it
like
gets.
How many campuses do they have now? Like 27 or something?
I don't know.
But to have this huge uptick in spirituality and faith in our community, but not feeling like I belonged or I fit, and it was like, man, this is odd, right? And so it was like, yeah, I would like dip my toe in and go to church and do that, and then I checked out a Mormon church for like a month and a half, and LDS church, and just even there, just never feel like I fit, and it was just so weird. It was like, what tribe do I belong to?
Yeah,
right. Like, where do I belong?
Did you ever find it?
I don't know. I think I'm probably still searching at some level of, because for me now it's who do I want to surround myself with, right? You are who you run with.
No shit.
Right?
I didn't believe that, but it's definitely true.
You are who you run with. And so for me, it's I want to surround myself with people that challenge me. Like, I want them to call me out, like, you're being an idiot, don't do this. I want people to I want to be able to celebrate with people as much as they want to celebrate the successes with me. And I want them to be there for the failures as much as I want to be there for their failures, right? To build each other up. And I would say I have a pretty good core of folks that I can do that with. But it's still that notion of, is this where I belong? Right? And I don't know if that is ever going to go away from me. I honestly don't know if it ever will. And so part of that is scary, right? If I go through the rest of my life not knowing where I fit in, or who I belong with, or where I belong, am I okay with that? Like, yeah, I think that's an adventure, right? Like, I'm down to meet people. You know what I mean? Like,
I love that outlook.
I think that's an adventure. And
it's the best part of life, man. Meeting new people, making connections, learning about them, seeing what makes them tick. What are they interested in? What's their story?
I think it's great.
Best part.
It's so fascinating. And it's to me, like, I'm going to use the word, it's such an adventure, right? To just say hi to somebody instead of keep your head down, buried in your phone, and ignore society and ignore like what's going on around you, but be a part of it. Like, say hi to somebody that you don't know, and ask them how their day's going. Don't let them get away with saying good or fine. Like,
I always ask, like, how's your shift? Because they answer that directly. And hey, when did you get off? And you just watch their guard drop. And all you got to do is say hi to people. You can completely change their life. Like, whoa, somebody looked me in the eye and asked me how my day was. It has an impact.
It does. It truly does. And I saw a sweatshirt. I was at the holiday season, I was out shopping like all the other lemmings, and someone in front of me in line had a sweatshirt on, and on the back of the sweatshirt, it literally just said, whoever's reading this, just know that you are important and that you matter. And
it's a cool sweatshirt.
Right. It was awesome. And I'm sitting there like looking around. I'm like, is this guy talking to me? Right? Is this my sweatshirt? You know what I mean? And I think that's awesome, because I think that leads to conversation, right? Like, that individual is clearly showing, like, you can say hi to me, right? You can talk to me. Like, I'm here for you. I'm here for us, even though I don't know you. You know what I mean?
That's cool.
And I think that takes balls.
It does.
That's courageous.
Definitely.
Because
definitely,
there's days, I mean, we all have them, right? Like, I don't want to talk to people at the end of a day. I'm tired.
Definitely not.
I'm tired, right? I want to go to bed. You know, I don't want to have a conversation. You know, if I have to run up to Walgreens for something and someone stops to ask me a question, I'm gonna be like, I don't know, man. Sorry.
Yeah. Sorry. Love you. Gotta go.
Right. But that's the same thing. It's the same thing. It's like, just be open to new people. Like, be open to new experiences and new stories, and learn about people.
Yeah. Yeah.
And have fun with it. Like, you don't have to be so guarded, right?
Agreed.
People don't have to be so guarded all the time.
So what, how was the experience of mentoring youth? What age did you do that at? How long did you do it?
Oh,
you were involved in a group home?
So that was, oh my gosh, probably 12, 13 years ago at this point. And it was when I was getting my undergrad. So I didn't do college the traditional way of, okay, you're done with high school, now go to college.
Neither did I.
I didn't know what college was. I couldn't even spell college, probably. And so for me, it was, I spent a lot of time, I didn't backpack across Europe, but I spent a lot of time discovering myself, right?
Sure.
Like, I didn't go study abroad or anything. And so finally, like, when I started going back to school, I had this realization of, like, this is what I'm supposed to do. Like, this is what I'm meant to do. And so pursued it and went to school for it. And during my undergrad, an opportunity came up to work at a group home. And it was all for kids that were sent straight from juvenile hall that struggled with substance addiction.
Wow.
And it was literally any substance you could think of, like down to the air in a can, like the dust off spray.
Oh, wow.
And I worked there for 3 years, and loved it. Like, some days it was like, dude, I don't want to be around 6 teenage boys right now, and I want everyone to be absolutely quiet. And then there was other days where it was like, dude, this is fun, right? Like, teaching that, because I got to show them what it was like to be a kid, because they didn't have that experience either. You know, a lot of the kids coming from broken homes, if they knew their biological parents at all, their parents struggling with addiction, and their parents, right? Just looking at the generational, finally understanding what generational curses meant, right? Like, being able to see it, because I didn't want to look at it from my lens, right? Even though my parents struggled with it, their parents did, and their parent, right? Just not wanting to look at it from my lens, but being able to see it from theirs, and fully understanding what that's like, and understanding it, and being able to connect with them and mentor them and work there was incredible.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, the one of the funniest stories. We're kind of standing around waiting to go somewhere as like a house, right? So it's me and 2 other staff, and then 6 other residents. And one of the residents comes up and he's like, "Hey, Mr. Andrew, like, what time is it?" And I pointed to a clock on the wall, and he looked at it and he's like, "So what time is it?"
Oh, wow.
Because it was one that had the arms on it, right?
Wow.
And I chuckled because I thought he was being funny, because he's a sarcastic individual like me, and so I thought he was just being funny. And once I chuckled, I could see the expression on his face completely change, and he was not happy. And I was like, "I'm so sorry. Do you not know how to read a clock like that?" And he was, "Nope." And I said, "Can I teach you? Are you okay with if I teach you?" And he said, "Yeah, absolutely."
Nice.
Down to like not being able to read a clock, right? And
that's a whole different existence than what we were doing,
right?
Or at least what I was doing. That's crazy.
And being able to take kids to the snow, and they've, 1, have never seen snow, or 2, ever been in the snow, right? And just watching their tough exteriors just, no pun intended, like melt away and make a snowball, like learn how to make a snowball and throw it at someone's face.
Yeah.
Like that's what was like, seeing that joy on them was incredible.
Was that the most rewarding part?
By far.
That's cool.
Yeah.
What was the most challenging part of it?
Dealing with 6 teenagers that all struggled with drugs and alcohol, and
just got out of
trying to
juvie.
manage 6 different personalities and the 6 different like individuals attempting sobriety. Right?
Oh, boy.
I couldn't manage myself when I was like there were times where I couldn't manage myself, but now I'm trying to manage 6 other humans at attempt their sobriety and what they're going to do. And one, because they didn't know how to manage their own emotions or anything. But now I'm trying to manage their emotions with them and help them as well as their sobriety.
And yours, trying to figure that out.
Correct.
Too. Yeah.
Correct. And that was by far,
lot,
that
dude.
was tough.
Yeah.
That was challenging.
And did you have the same group for long periods of time?
The program, it kind of depended on them. Like the minimum amount of time that, unless they ran, right? Like unless they went AWOL and did any of that stuff, if they stayed, the minimum amount of time to like successfully graduate the program was 10 months.
Okay.
But there were kids that were there for beyond that. And so that was neat, right? Like being able to see these kids turn from showing up to I hate the world and F you and I don't know you but F you, to I'm thankful that this place exists.
Wow.
Right? Like I'm so appreciative of it. And it's tough, right? Because along the way you learn about the fancy word of recidivism, right?
I don't know what that means. It's terrible.
So the likelihood that someone's going to return to what they were doing.
Oh.
Right. So.
And was that pretty likely?
Oh, it was high.
Ah,
it was mountainous high, right? And you see these kids that like, I got this figured out. Like this is okay. I'm good to go. But here we are. Like you go back to your environment with no changes in the environment, and you're just put back in it. Like you're the odd one out. And the most challenging part, was receiving phone calls or receiving word that like someone slipped up, right? And they relapsed. Or they're back in juvenile hall because they made a dumb decision. That was equally as hard as managing my emotions, their emotions, and sobriety.
Yeah. Wow.
And seeing how low the success rate is.
Dude, that's tough. It's like 3 to 5% tops.
Yeah.
Like anybody that wants to get sober, whatever path you go, whether you go science or, well, actually science has a pretty high one with things like Vivitrol and naltrexone and things like that. But AA, white knuckling it, spiritual, whatever, it's not very good odds that you're never going to do that again.
It's not.
And that's sad, especially when someone's like ruining their life, you know?
Right. And then you can also look across the table, though, at someone that can have a beer or two and that's it.
Yeah.
Right? Like, that's tough. Right? But yes. But just seeing how low the success rate is. And these kids are given, once they come into a program like that, they're given so many opportunities. Right, because you're considered a ward of the court at that point, and so there's so much funding that's out there, and there's so many opportunities, and college tuition becomes free, like all this stuff, right, is there. They just have that thing of, I want this, right, but I'm so afraid to do it.
Yeah, and maybe nobody's believed in them. You know? That's a big thing.
And to watch individuals squander. Right, or to just kind of like let that opportunity go by. It's like, man, what are you doing?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, I know you have something up here. What are you doing? Like, I wish college would have been free for me. Mm-hmm. Right? Mm-hmm. Like, that would have been awesome.
It was a lot cheaper than it is now, but it was not free. Maybe yours wasn't if you did post-grad stuff.
Well, I mean, Sierra College back in the day, what was it? It was like $18 a unit.
Yeah, I remember paying like $200 or something.
And that included your books and a parking pass.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I think that buys you a cup of coffee there now,
So today, how do you feel about spirituality, religion, like God, source? Like, where's your head at with that stuff?
Oh, man. That's a tough question.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do I think something out there is greater than all of us, or are we just, do we just magically wind up here one day? Like, I think there's something out there. I don't know what it is, right? I don't think we were an accident, and I don't think that we were put here out of two things colliding, right? Like, but I don't know, and I think that's part of the adventure that I was talking about earlier, and whether that's through self-discovery or happenstance, right, of figuring that out and just getting hit in the face with it. But I do think so. Like, I'll answer your question because I kind of just dodged it.
No,
so I apologize.
You did.
I struggle with religion, and I struggle with organized religion because I've seen mistakes get made by individuals that hold high, substantial positions in organized religion, and then there's really no consequences, right? And I'm not saying that just because they're in a position of leadership within a religion that they're not going to make mistakes, because that's stupid, right? Everybody makes mistakes. I have a tough time with it in the sense that it's hard for me to blindly, right? But that's faith, right? It's hard for me to blindly adhere to certain aspects and rules and requirements, but not be able to see the tangible reason why, right? Because God says this, like, this is what we do, right? Like, okay, that's the hard part. But again, that's the faith, right? Having the faith to be able to do that. I think there's something to learn from any organized religion. Like, there's pros and cons to any organized religion. And I think having an open mind and an open heart to be able to hear those things and to understand them and to acknowledge them
super important.
Is super important. I could sit across from someone of Muslim faith and be able to learn something from them, right? Just I could learn something from their beliefs and their faith, right? Just as much as I could sit across from someone that's Jewish, and I think that's incredible. Right, but having the understanding that it's okay to have like that open mind and that open heart, and to be able to ask questions and not put someone down because you have a different belief right away.
Yeah,
like, no, that's not what I learned. Right, being so closed off to the idea that there's something else, right? That there's another way to look at something.
Yeah. So, do you think there's a rhyme and reason to all this? Like, why we're here? Do you feel like there's a purpose? And
dude, we're a video game.
You think it's simulation?
No, I don't want to go down that rabbit hole.
Right.
But
dude, my daughter was like half asleep and in this kind of half dream state, and she goes, "Dad," she's sitting like this. She goes, "What if we're in someone else's dream?"
Yes.
And I was like, "What? What a great question to ask yourself. Life's important to ask, but how crazy is that? A girl who's never heard that concept, 11 years old." So
that we're
maybe
just
we are,
dude. Dream.
It's kind of weird to think about.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah,
it is. It's weird, right? You can go down the rabbit holes, and you can. I mean,
it doesn't. For me though, like, it can be a fun thought exercise, but that doesn't change anything. Like, we still got bills to pay. We still got other people to be. Do
we have bills to pay?
I don't know. What is money? It's just a frequency, right?
Yeah, time is a construct.
Yeah. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So, like, why do I feel like everybody's here, like, in this big circus that we call life? I don't know. To learn from each other. Learn who you are as a person, and definitely to learn from others, and to have that open mind and that open heart to receive information just as willing as people are so quick to give it. Right?
Yeah.
Everyone has an opinion, but are you willing to sit and realistically listen to somebody else's?
Wow.
And honestly listen. Right?
And challenge your own, like, open-minded. Sure. I try not to have any stances anymore because I could feel totally different in 2 years. It's bizarre.
You feel different tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? And given our climate of everything that's going on, right, it's, I don't know, I could have a belief in something today, but then tomorrow you're going to present me with a counter argument, and I'm going to be like, oh, yeah.
That's too logical. Crap.
Yeah, right.
Yep.
Like, I'm going to subscribe to that now.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I think just to go along with, like, having a sense of adventure and, like, a willingness to learn, and I think we're here to, like, as corny as it sounds, to, like, show people, like, that it's okay to love one another, right? It's okay to like put your arm around somebody and say like, I got you. It's okay to do that, right? Like, let me, like, you're beat down right now. Like, let me support you right now, right? Like, let me prop you up so that we can get through today. Like, let me prop you up so we can get through the next couple days, right? You don't have to know somebody to care about people, right? Like, there's people all over the world that I care about, but I've never met. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
for sure.
When you see struggle, no matter what it is, right? Whether it's financial or what we've talked about with substance use or depression, anxiety, like you name it, right? Like when you care about people, you should. I mean, I feel like people should care about people.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Like I think it's God. I heard a quote like you can't attribute to malice what you can attribute to incompetence, and like you can't just assume that everybody's angry and they don't want to do, like, if they don't understand something, they don't understand it. Right? So be willing to help them learn.
Yeah. I like that. Looking out for one of you.
Looking
out for one another. That's why we're here. I like that.
We're here to play golf too.
Yeah?
I think, yeah.
Dude, I take one swing and I can't walk for like 2 weeks. My tall ass and back issues, I can't do it.
I mean, when you walk around looking like the Lurch, from the Addams Family, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
I think you called me that in high school.
I probably did.
I think so.
I called everybody names
that brings
in
me
high
back.
School. Yeah. I did want to ask, do you remember rocking out in your parents' garage?
Oh yeah, dude! I remember you. Yeah, I remember you singing Beastie Boys.
Something.
I can't stand it. Yeah.
Man.
Dude, you know what's so crazy about that? I think about that moment like semi-frequently the last 25 years because that is literally how bands start. It's just people messing around.
Yeah.
Like that could, if say like something clicked
any
and we
of us
were
had
like,
any talent.
well, even if we didn't have talent, just hey, let's do this again Saturday.
Right.
Hey, let's do this again. If you do that enough, something's going to develop. You're going to have a band or you're going to have some art. I still think about that because
I think about it all the time.
How crazy was that? I was banging on the drums, you were singing, and we both had the guts to do it.
Right.
That's how amazing things happen.
Right.
Two people just having the nuts. So
and I remember that your mom would open the door to the garage and like look out there, and we're just making noise and just shake her head and like walk away, and it was like, love you.
Yep.
Thanks for the support. Thanks for letting us do this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was a trip, man. That was a ton of fun.
Yeah. Any stories you want to tell, or anything you want to share, input you want to give?
Be comfortable with being who you are. I think accept yourself and be comfortable with who you are. Learn how to we've kind of talked about it. Like, I think you should be uncomfortable. I think humans should put themselves in uncomfortable situations because I think that's what leads to growth. And I think that's what leads to acceptance of other humans and of life, right? Don't be afraid to pursue what you feel like you're meant to do.
Yeah.
I think that's huge.
I do too, man.
I think that's huge. For me, like going back to school later in life with having, I had my oldest son was in kindergarten while I'm in college. Like, that's not easy.
No.
That's not easy, right? He's learning how to cut out shapes, and I'm having to write a 10-page paper. Like, this isn't fun right now. But looking back on it, like that was one of the tough. Going back to school was one of the toughest things I've ever had to do.
Yeah.
Because of the sacrifice that other people had to make, and the sacrifice that I had to make, right? And the fact that my son had to make a sacrifice and he didn't even know what that word is.
Yeah.
The things that I missed out on because of going back to school, I'll never be able to get back. Like, I'll never be able to get back his t-ball practices that I missed, or his games that I missed because I had to write a paper or I had to be in class. I'm not going to get those moments back.
Luckily, it helped all those kids, though. Like
yeah, and like being able to do so. I went back, got my bachelor's degree, got my master's, and I'm working in the field of therapy. Right, it's still that thing of giving to other people.
Yes.
Right. Of how can I help other people today? And And I love being asked, like, why did you get into this profession? Like, why'd you become a therapist? And for me, it's like to be the voice for the people that don't know how to use theirs yet, or that don't know they have one.
Ooh.
And
I love that, like, dude. That don't know they have one. That gave me goosebumps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, to be a voice for someone that doesn't know they have
and help them reveal their own voice, too.
Yeah.
That's great, man.
Like, that for me is, being a voice for the voiceless. Right, and teaching them. Like,
that was going to be the slogan of this podcast.
Stop
a voice for the voiceless.
That
I swear, yes, it was.
Dude,
yes.
This is kismet. It's meant to be.
What's kismet?
Meant to be.
Okay. Is that a different language or just a cool?
I don't know, dude. It's English. I don't know. I've heard it somewhere, probably from like
cool.
51st Dates or something. But,
yeah.
Yeah. Just it's incredible to work in a field where I get to harness like helping people. Right. I get to just listen.
Yeah.
And it's cathartic.
Dude, let me ask you, how do you keep your own emotions protect? Like when I do this and when it gets heavy, I have to like cry after. I have to get it out. I absorb it with people. Does that happen to you?
All the time.
It does. Okay.
All the time.
Yeah, there's no way you can sit there and be in someone's hardest time with them for 20, 30 minutes and hear it all out and not be affected by it.
Exactly.
Yeah. I literally go after a lot of these and find a place where nobody can hear me. And I just fucking get it out. Just cry it all out.
Right.
My daughter makes fun of me. She's caught me a couple times. I'm like, you try it. This is the most beautiful thing ever, though, to meet someone where they are, when they're getting their most vulnerable and they're telling something they didn't think they would tell, and you've made it safe to do that, or you've been a part of them in that growth moment. It is the most beautiful, fulfilling. I thought having kids was amazing, and it was, but... Dude, so what you do, you must relate to that. It's amazing, right? Helping people in that way.
It is. It's incredible. And you're right. Learning how to not take work home with you, right? It's so funny because, people would ask, like, how's your relationship with your kids? Like, you work with kids, right? Like, and it's like, dude, have you ever been to a mechanic's house?
Yeah.
Do you see all the cars that are sitting out front that don't work?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know why that is? It's because when they get home from work, they don't want to do it.
Yeah.
Right? So they just want to go, they just want to be...
Just sloth. Right. Just zone out. Mm-hmm.
And so you go to a landscaper's house, right? And their grass is probably going to be tall and not cut, and they're going to have weeds and all this stuff. And it's like... No, like sometimes the last thing that I ever want to do at the end of a day is talk or listen.
I get it.
Right? I just want to shut down because I'm hearing so much stuff from other people that you're holding on to it. And so for me, what's helped with that is becoming really good at compartmentalizing. And mentally visualizing myself putting it away when I'm done with work. And it's kind of like I have a really big file cabinet, right? And so when work is done, it's like, okay, work is done, and I visualize myself closing that drawer of the file cabinet, and then it's like, okay, I'm done with work, so now I'm dad, right? And it's pulling the dad drawer open, right? Or I'm brother, or I'm friend, right? Like doing that because it helps, right? It switches my mind off from holding on to the trauma or the stories that people have are heartbreaking, and it's like, how do I want to be able to look at my son, right? I want to be able to look at my kid, like I want to be able to smile at some point today.
Yeah, that's a cultivated mindset then. So the file cap, so you've put effort into making sure you can compartmentalize.
But that's what works for me, right? Yeah. As well as like going to therapy on my own, right? Honestly, and I mentioned golf a little bit ago. For me, golf is incredible. Spiritual. Like it's been a lifesaver because I can shut my mind off to everything else, and all I'm thinking about is what I'm doing right now in this moment. Like how my feet are, right? Like what I'm doing. Am I pointed the right way? Am I gonna look like an idiot, right? Like all this stuff. Like all I'm focused on is that, and I don't have to think about work. Like I don't have to think about the horrific things that I've heard throughout the day or the CPS reports that I have to file. Like I don't have to think about it.
Yeah.
Like I'm just thinking about this, and I get to just be me.
Yeah. I'll try to take that. I love it though, dude. I fucking love feeling things with people and sharing that. Like I don't know how to describe it.
With that?
So this is really weird, but my whole life people just start telling me their story. I don't know what that is. And I think it's because I'm an open book. I've had so much like quote trauma, and dude, I've lived my life has looked very different than it has today.
Sure.
And so I think people can sense like, oh, I'm not going to judge, and I always try to lead with something. I don't know what it is, but that, and then
you do have an infectious smile.
Okay, I'll take it. Yeah.
Like, I mean, like no joke. Like you have you've always had like a very infectious smile of like, oh, I can He's like I can smile, right? Like,
yeah, okay.
I'm not going to get made fun.
I've never heard that.
It's like you have it's. I mean, I'm not trying to sound like it's like a warm, like you can sense like a warmth, right? Like this person cares.
I love people, dude, and I do care. I want to hear who you are. Like, how did you get that opinion?
How did you get here?
Yes, tell me what led to this moment. So yeah.
That's one of my favorite questions to ask. Is like, why are we here? Like, what are we doing here in this moment right now? And for like, I don't know, I'm here because I was told that I needed therapy, right? Like my spouse said I need therapy, or
this must be your
like, dude, it's crazy, right? But like,
my spouse told me I needed therapy, so
right? Like, dude,
will you check that box for me?
Yeah. Especially when they filled out all the paperwork for you already, like everything's good to go. Like, this is why he's coming, right? Or this is why she's here. You know what I mean?
That's
like,
interesting.
It is, but it's just one of the like, why are you here? Like, what led us to this right now? And some people, they don't know. Like, they don't have an answer yet.
Yeah.
But hopefully you can, just like with your arena here doing this, help individuals get to a point to where they can answer that question.
Yeah.
This is why I am here, right? This is what led to us having this conversation, or like, this is what led to me seeking therapy, or my spouse telling me I need therapy. Right?
Yeah, this whole thing's evolving. I don't know what this is or where this goes. I don't know what the
who cares, dude?
Exactly.
That's
I just know
man.
I'm supposed to do this and just keep showing up and watch for the people that are supposed to be on here. If somebody reaches out, I always let them on. Like, I don't know where this goes, and I don't care. I'm doing it forever. Like, this is why I'm here. I don't know what that means.
Dude, that was also part of the reason why I went to school to be a therapist. Was like, I can do this till I'm old.
That's awesome.
Right? Like,
that's a good point. You're not going to age out of,
like, I don't have to, I'm not bending, breaking my back.
Yeah.
I'm not, God, you mentioned sales. Like, oh, God.
I'm still doing it, man.
I know, but like,
for
me, no.
It enables me to do this.
Absolutely. And that's great. I
try to stay grateful.
I'm saying for me, right? Like, I don't want to do that. Like, I don't want to do that. Yes, you're able to talk to people and you're able to, do that, but it's like, dude, this isn't what I meant to do. This isn't why I'm here.
If I didn't have this, I really think that's what a midlife crisis is, because I felt it in myself before this, and I see it in other people. I think if you're our age and you haven't found a way...
Dude, are you saying that we're in our midlife right now?
Fuck yeah, we're in our midlife, dude. How crazy is that? I remember thinking, how long ago did I see Andy? And it was like 25 years, and I'm thinking, I can't be old enough to have friends that are 25
years ago?
And we were in high school at that point.
God, bunch of idiots.
Yes.
Anyway,
yes.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there.
I don't remember what we were talking about.
Have you heard of a life calendar?
Mm-mm.
So a life calendar, right? It's a square that represents a week of your life, right? And so, say the average life for a male, I don't know what it is off the top of my head, so don't quote me on that. But let's call it 80, right? So you have a square for every week of an 80-year-old's life, like on this giant thing, right? And you check them off, right, as you go through. You're just checking off the boxes. Right,
like as time moves, like there's a week down.
Yep. Week down. Right?
Wow,
week
that's
down,
intense.
Week down.
Yeah.
But what's crazy is, who would you say is one of the most important people to you in your life that doesn't live within 15, 20 minutes of you?
Oh, that doesn't? My brother.
Your brother?
Yeah.
Okay. Where's how far
Tennessee.
away? Tennessee.
Yeah, pretty far.
How often do you see your brother?
Not often. The last year and a half.
Okay, so let's call it you've seen each other twice over the last year.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. So let's say you guys saw each other for like 5 days at a time, right? For that. So that's okay. That's a week gone. It's a week gone. Those are visits, right? If you guys continue to only see each other.
Oh, wow.
right?
I see what you mean.
So now how many more visits do you have with your brother?
So if I have 50 years left and I'm doing 2 a year, 100, or something.
Yeah.
That sounds like a lot. It's not.
It's not.
No.
Right? So
that's kind of crazy.
Think
about how many summers you have left. That fucked me up. Sean did that to me. Sean Cohen. I'm like, wait, what? Yeah. Summer's the best.
So heartbreaking, dude.
It is. It is. But something happens after this life. Like, it doesn't end here.
It has to.
I know it does. I mean, I guess I can't say I know. Nobody knows, but based on some experiences I've had with psychedelics.
Some people might know, man. Some people might have that answer for you of what happens. But I think that's something that's important to hold on to is like, how do I make the most out of this conversation, right? If you and I haven't seen each other for 25 years and let alone had a conversation like this, let alone say hi, right? How many more visits do we have then, right? Of you and I.
Wow.
How many more opportunities do you and I have to talk like this, right? If we're not...
God, what if you viewed your whole life that way? I'd just be
Don't you think you should?
Yes, 100%. I'm gonna really try to do that. Like,
because then
how long is my kid gonna be 7 and like me? I mean, another 300 days? I don't know.
Sure.
And then that's it.
Right, but like, so hold on to that feeling of like,
I will
make
try.
the most out of the engagement that you have, right? And learn from that, right? Like, God, I'm blanking on the word that I want to use. Right?
Kisbit.
No.
Kisbot? Is that what you said?
Kismet. It was Kismet.
Yeah, Kismet.
But like, be selfish in that moment, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then in another 25 years, you and I are going to see each other. That puts us at what, 60 FAF mass, 67.
Damn.
Right?
That's kind of crazy.
I'm not going to remember you past 67.
Right.
Because the egg in the frying pan.
Yep.
Like, but so make the most of it, right? You see someone like have that conversation.
Yeah, I think we did today, man.
I think we did too.
We expressed ourselves. How do you think people can learn themselves? Like, being authentic, you have to know yourself. Like, what do you think?
Ask yourself questions. Don't be like the questions that you're going to ask other people, or the questions that, like, I'm not saying interview yourself, but but like ask yourself the questions. Like, am I happy? Right? Like, but then you have to define happiness. Like, what does happiness look like? Like, how do you find your authentic self? Be open to learning new things. Be open to pushing yourself beyond what you're comfortable with.
So you got to try new things. If you're not trying a ton of things, how do you find your natural talent?
Right.
How do you find your natural interest? And how do you cultivate that thing in you that can create something that helps other people?
Right. Granted, I've never gone skydiving and I never will.
Yeah.
But
I did it once.
I don't think that has anything to do with me being authentic. I think the authentic answer is like, I'm not doing that. Right?
It's not logical, dude. Yeah. Jumping out of a plane.
Why am I jumping out of a perfectly good airplane?
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like, be open to new experiences. Be open to having conversations with people that you don't know and learning from that. And like, be open to learning.
Dude, you can learn.
I think people should be learning every day.
Yeah.
Learn something new every day.
Agreed.
Something small, whatever. It's the 1,000-hour rule, right? Like, you spend 1,000 hours learning how to do something, and by the end of 1,000 hours, you're gonna be pretty good at it.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
yeah.
I'm not saying you have to spend 1,000 hours on learning how to play chess, but like, learn how to do something new
and stick through it past that initial
awkwardness.
Hard
Oh
part.
God, it's so frustrating.
Well, man, if we're only gonna have one conversation every 25 years, this was it, dude.
I'll see you at 67.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
this was fun.
I'm honored.
Thanks for joining, dude.
Thank you.
I'm glad things turned out. What do you before we wrap? What are you most excited about looking at your life?
Dude, my kids growing up. Like, just my kids growing up and doing whatever I can to ensure that I'm not my dad, like, for my kids, right? Like, being a better version of a dad than what my dad was.
What does that look like? Emotional availability?
Yeah. Happiness, smiles, laughter,
warmth,
tickles, right?
Yeah.
Like,
silliness.
Yeah, just being a goofball.
You're the perfect dad for that, dude. That's so cool.
High school, you know what I mean? Like, I would say I'm a little more reserved now. Probably not. But like, I'm still a goofball, right? But
we're calmer, we're more mature, but that spirit's still
because
there.
We got the old knees